slice through the enemy with their unforgiving wings. Run! They will raging.
What is up, guys? Alibaba here, and we are back with more Vanguard Zero. Today I have something very different in mind in terms of what I'm going to be playing. It is NLK build I've been messing around with. I went from Legend 11 to where I am now, purely using the NLK build. This is the third iteration of the deck. It focuses on big boy over here, no life King Death Anchor. Normally, when one thinks of no life King Death Anchor, they think about it as a very late game, last ditch kind of trigger, critical trigger, which normally it kind of is. What I've decided to try to do is maximize how many times I can use no life King per game, and that way I don't have to worry about any kind of soul requirements for the trigger, for the crit, any type of like Persona Blast, which would come from like Dark Lord of Abyss. There's no soul requirement whatsoever. I do run one Reiji because you do suck up a lot of cards into your soul, so if late game you happen to draw into Reiji and you find that you're low on your deck, and maybe you can't NOK anymore, at least safely, you have an option there. I run Edelrose and Chariot. Chariot as my heal trigger to rebuild the deck and add bikes and carriages to my deck as well, sort of beef it up a bit. And Edelrose as a recyclable draw trigger, which will help me continue drawing cards. And you also never know when you need to ride Edelrose for like a cheeky crit if you don't draw into NLK. He's actually come up super clutch lately. Grade 1 lineup, I run 2 Dorian the Thrusters for just consistent columns. Usually I like to try to keep her behind Vanguard to be able to hit over defensives. I try to keep all of my bikes on my rear guard columns as boosters, and then eventually I promote them to hit with crits. They're also just very big boosters. And something you might notice in this build is that I'm running self-damagers. 3 of the grade 1 and 3 of the grade 2. The reasoning behind this is to get NLK's 5 damage requirement early, so I can crit them in the face. And the best part about this is at the end of your turn, or your battle phase, or which is technically the end of your turn, NLK will put 5 cards back into your damage zone. But if you got to 5 damage that turn through self-damagers, the number of cards you self-damaged, even after NLK's effect, they still go back to the deck, so your damage is technically staying the same as it was, which is super clutch. And because the only real, apart from like Edelrose, the only real thing we have that counterblast is our starter and our free travelers. We are running 3 Gwyn the Rippers to control their intercepts and retire them if we need be. Obviously 4 Werewolf Seekers, 4 Edelrose. The free travelers are there to soul charge your bikes. It's pretty straightforward. It's actually done pretty well. It's a little bit high rolly. It's not as consistent as other decks, because if you don't draw into your self-damagers, you're essentially sitting on NLK until you actually get 5 draws. And I used to try to run Red Magma in my second build version of this deck, but I ended up cutting him for Free Traveler because 1, I wanted the consistent bike crit, and 2, it takes a while to get to 6 soul normally with NLK. And otherwise, before that, your Red Magma is just vanilla, and that's not really... I found myself not really using Red Magma to its highest potential. We'll try to see if we can get a rank up with it. If not, that's fine. I've had a couple of good games, but let's hope we do get some good games. Hey, True Darkness. Today I am an NLK pimp. So Reiji is still in this deck. I run one Reiji. Lewin 8. I win. Interesting. Okay. I don't want to return this as well. No, I won't. I'll keep these two. Okay. I have 2 self-damagers. If I can draw into NOK, I can then search for Werewolf Seeger. I want to try to ride Werewolf Seeger as much as possible, just so in case I need Arrow Rose. Heat Nail. Heat Nails can't target my starter, so I'm not worried about that. Come on, give me NOK. I'm set if I draw into NOK here. NOK and Free Traveler will be the best 2 cards to draw here. Okay, that's fine too, I guess. Unfortunately, riding Arrow Rose will do me nothing if I don't have Werewolf Seeger. Because she's just a 9k vanilla at that point. So I'm actually going to risk it. And I don't mind sitting on a 10k Werewolf Seeger. It just means I'll have 1 less drive check. At least now, if I draw into Arrow Rose again, I will have the Werewolf Seeger in the soul guaranteed to potentially activate Arrow Rose's crit. Why do you always go first? I don't know what to tell you about that. Depending on the, I don't know. Sometimes I want to go first. With Dark Irregulars, I almost always want to go first. Unless I'm bricked, and then I prefer to go second, but it's usually hit or miss sometimes for me. Doombringer Griffin. He's gonna retire. Okay. Uh-oh. Good thing I drew that PG then, because I just saw he plays crits. Either he has the end in his hand to Persona Blast and he's trying to kill me like that, or he has hella crits, or hella PGs. Damn it, why couldn't that be a draw trigger? Honestly, I kind of don't mind riding Chariot either. Mainly because it puts a Chariot in my solver when I do eventually ride over it. I still have 2 turns to draw an OK. Well, at least I'm not grade locked. That's what that means. Werewolf Seeger, and then I really don't want to call Gwyn the Ripper here, but I will if I need to. And do I need to is the question. I have 2 other ones in my deck that I can draw into. I could also just call my bike and soul charge, but then I'd lose it, so I want to save my self damages for a potential NOK turn. You like going safe with the extra draw and the transfer 2 to 3 damage? Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's 1 less Persona Blast you can use. It's a good thing I actually did push, because I actually considered just retiring his rear. But considering he's about to get a crit, did not want to risk it. Honestly, I think I kind of prefer going second as well. Overall. The only time I prefer... Well, okay, here's the thing. The only time I prefer going first is if I'm facing Narukami. Because that means I can get an extra turn of Yellow Bolt, / maybe use my starter before they die. Yeah, he's gonna waste the Bellicosity. Is he actually trying to go for game here? No, he would have called the booster. 1, 2. He still has 2 the ends potentially to use. My biggest concern is if whether or not this is 9 crit Kagura. Oh, there's a Tejas. I have to be careful for that. Damn it. I was really hoping for a draw trigger there. If I draw NOK, I can NOK this turn. Nope. Guess I'm riding Chariot. Gonna have to call one of these. And then just swing. That's all I really can do. I need to hit my triggers. Come on, draw trigger. Are you kidding me? Oh, I feel like this deck is gonna be camera shy. He can restand now, which is scary. I need triggers. I have all 9 draws in my deck. And 3 heals. I'd rather get the draws right now. I still have 2 self-damagers. I have the self-damagers I need for a potential NOK turn. Probably gonna retire my bike. I mean, my bike isn't doing anything to him right now. But we could also just retire my starter, yeah. The bike isn't a problem yet. If I had used my starter, then he would have retired my bike. I'm gonna really need to see a draw trigger here. So far, all I've seen from his side, trigger-wise, is the 2 the end. So there's a good chance he'll trigger here, potentially even heal, which would be annoying. Oh, there's 1 PG. There's a critical. That's 1 less the end though, which is good. So if he can Persona Blast actually. We don't know for certain what he has in his hand. The crit forces my PG, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to most likely call one of these self-damagers. Nope, there's an OK. Of course my triggers were stacked there. As long as I don't hit a trigger here as well. Damn it. Alright, let's see if this goes through. Probably not, considering he so readily took out his Conroe. I'll get 1 Chariot in there. I'm 1 Chariot away from being able to do the thing. Perfect. Give me another draw trigger, please. That's fine. Okay, and then After my 5 damage gets added, 2 of them will go back to my deck. The bike and the heal. Perfect. I lost 2 draw triggers in that exchange, but that's fine. Kind of. He doesn't have any counterblast to do anything fancy. And I have another self-damage in hand. He could kill me here. Not gonna lie. I have 3 heals in my deck though. And I did just thin out my deck significantly. Ooh. You want? I would love some bacon. Okay, that's his last EN, so he for sure does not have Persona Blast. Oh, that's it. Vakshas, so we still haven't seen any other triggers apart from the end. I mean, obviously this guy's one of his heals, so that's all we know. I could kill him here. I have to go for game. I have no choice but to go for game. Unfortunately, Chariot isn't ready either. If I can draw free... No, Free Traveler wouldn't do anything yet either. Oh, if that... Imagine that as Soul Charge the bike. Then that would have been set. Can't do anything with 1 damage. Or with 1 counter blast. Alright. Time for the roulette again. I lost 1 heal trigger. That's not the end of the world. 1, 2. I have 2 bikes in my soul. If I can survive, which means I need a heal, I can set up bike crit. I need a heal for him to not have a booster. So let's not get a trigger. We finally revealed that he does not play 9 draw. He does have Overlord as a draw. I just didn't draw any of my freaking intercepts this game. That's what's killing me right now. They were all sent to the damage zone. Two or less rear guards. Well, I have 3 rear guards. 17. Come on, heal trigger. Nope. Alright. So, we got to do some of what we want to do that game, but the lack of intercepts and the late NLK is kind of what did us in that game. You get to see the spiciness that is being able to NLK multiple games. Fortunately for us, not only did the FPGs, but we took a little bit longer than preferred to NLK here. Alright, this is either MOB or a farmer. Whichever one it's going to be, we shall find out. Okay, we drew NOK, which is good, and a self-damager. I'd rather not write a PG here if I could save it, especially because you mulligan, which means, yep, MLB. Even though surprisingly, he's playing Wingle Brave. I guess he doesn't mind waiting. Okay, him writing PG is super good for us. If we can draw a bike here, because that's our preferred right target, that means we only need a free traveler. We have Reiji for a potential late game move. Fortunately, we lost our PG. At least we weren't one card off. I would have been sad if we were actually one card off from bike. That means I could have returned the Gwyn the Ripper as well. Oh wait, no, I drew the Gwyn the Ripper from my mulligan. Never mind. Can't do anything yet. Yeah, he's just gonna swing. Here comes the MLB luck that we've grown accustomed to. There's an NOK, perfect, into self-damager. Okay, we can work with that. All we have to do is kill him before he kills us. That's the game plan. Ah, damn it. That's way too many grade 3s in my hand. Do I call Gwyn the Ripper here again? Yeah, we don't have a bike set up anytime soon, so losing that's not going to be a big deal. Usually I like to save Gwyn the Ripper if I can see that I can very easily just set up bike. Ah, there's bike. We gave him 3 damage, which means he could either Alfred or Star Call here. He could even Wingle Brave if he really wants to. Does he actually have to? Okay, no. Uh-oh, wait. Was that an MOB crit? That is an MOB crit. Yep, he's gonna probably get Dark here. Yep, exactly. Dark. And here comes Blade, I'm assuming. Yep, here comes Blade. It's almost like you don't even need the starter. The good thing here is he's leaving himself with only 1 intercept. And I just drew another self-damager. We won't need that many, but I can't self-damage the 5 damage here. You get to crit, this is gonna hurt. Okay. I would really like to draw a PG here. Nope. Our best bet here. Oh, I was 1 card off. Sad face. I would have drawn it. Oh. I'll call Chariot just in case. I can't heal. I'm giving up my ability to heal here by doing this. Yeah, we need at least 1. I should have probably just kept the one I had, the extra one I had. If he doesn't have PG, this is GG. He does not have PG. Yep, so the strat was to kill him before he could kill me. There we go. That's a GG, ladies and gentlemen. NLK does its job. That's some good stuff right here. I'm having way too much fun with this deck. Not having to worry about any kind of soul requirements, actually pretty good. Yep, I won with 0 damage. Call me NOK cheese. And now we face Narukami. The good thing about facing Narukami is if we can set up NLK consistently. Okay, you see this? This is a perfect hand. We can actually set up Bike for late game. Oh, and we even drew our Doreen. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is gonna be a GG. At least it should be, unless I mess up royally. The only problem is we have to deal with this Saishin at some point. I actually don't mind if Saishin takes out my Doreen. As long as I can draw another booster. Okay, he reveals he plays self-damagers, which means we won't necessarily be able to guarantee limit break denial. But we can at least work around him potentially not drawing them. Okay, so there's a Red River Dragoon, so he probably doesn't play 4 self-damagers. Okay, we drew Reiji in case we need him. Alright, we have another booster, so I'm perfectly okay with calling my Doreen here. Gotta make sure to call her first, just to guarantee. Wait. I'm actually gonna do this. Just to see if I can bait him into taking out my Doreen here. I'm just gonna swing like this. And see if he takes the bait. Oh, he might not take the bait. He's probably going to focus on Stormbringer. Honestly, if he doesn't kill it, that's perfectly fine as well. I don't mind if he lets Doreen live. Okay, he is going to kill it. That's fine. That's what we were trying to get him to do. Now we don't have to worry about any type of shenanigans. We drew a Chariot, which is honestly okay. No Life King will Soul Charge a Self-Damager. Let's put in the last bike we need to prep our bike for future turns. And now I'm gonna call this here. Just in case, because we're not NOK. We're not using NOK yet. Honestly, I'm not gonna call my booster yet either. I'm not in any rush right now. That is annoying though, because if I do get a trigger, that's gonna be sad. So now I need 2 to pass. Okay, I wouldn't have passed anyways. That's fine then. We have 3 bikes in our deck that are ready to crit. He rides straight into the blood, which is perfect for us. That means he needs Limit Break 5 to do anything. He's calling a self-damager, probably to deny us a heal here. Okay, he's gonna push. Kinda. He's gonna try to push at least. That's a 17, so a trigger denies him. If we can get a draw here, that would be super good. We got a heal, so he did successfully deny us a heal. Almost like he knew we were gonna get it. But now, if he doesn't get a trigger, we're sitting pretty. Perfect. And he lost a PG. That's valuable information. If I can draw 1 more self-damager, I can NLK him this turn. No, I drew an NLK. Oh, I was 1 card off. If he had actually gotten, that means I actually wanted him to get a trigger there. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's swing with NLK. He's already lost 2 self-damagers. If he's playing... My gut is telling me his ratios are 2 self-damagers, 2 great, 2 AK vanillas. Why trust? I'm actually going to take out his grade 3 here. I could damage him, but I'd rather him have to rebuild his board. Also want to play around the potential 3rd self-damager. I don't mind if he puts me to 4 damage here. He's putting me to 3. Never mind, he's putting me to 4. Apparently he plays crits. Oh, the blood is a crit as well. So he probably doesn't have a playset of the bloods then. So I can NLK him this turn. That's what that means. That's fine. If I can draw Gwyn the Ripper, that would be super clutch. Because I could potentially go for game. I almost don't want to though. I kind of want to just play 1 more turn of Limit Break Denial. Oh! I'm saving that for next turn. Yeah, I'm saving that for next turn. Keep still charging my draw triggers, unfortunately. Beautiful. What are we putting in our soul? We're putting in a heal, which is good because that means any chariots we draw after that will be powered up. It will be sad if he actually doesn't have a PG and I just missed. Actually, no, there's something I could have done. Draw trigger, perfect. into another PG. Okay, that essentially guarantees our survival. And we played this correctly. He had a PG. Now what are we putting in the damage zone? One draw trigger and a bunch of non-triggers. And the PG goes back to the deck. Honestly, I'm happy with that. So I have 2 draw triggers and 2 heals in our deck. It's kind of playing Russian roulette a little. Gets the blood pumping. Okay, he played 2 grade 2s, which is annoying. But if we can draw into Gwyn the Ripper here, it's essentially a GG. Actually, not really, because he's at 3 damage. I almost have to not NOK next turn, because I kind of have to heal. I have to put myself in a situation to heal. A Gwyn the Ripper here will be super good, because then I could potentially go for game. Come on, Gwyn the Ripper. Gwyn the Ripper. Actually, no, I can't even counter that. What am I doing? Gwyn the Ripper won't matter. I drew a Chariot. Okay. I have to think this through. Him playing 2 intercepts is what's really killing me here. I can't play. I don't have any intercepts to play. If he's been sitting on a... I can't risk the crit here. I just have to play this to put him that 4 for next turn. And then I have to heal here. That's what needs to happen. I'm not NOKing this turn. Because even if it goes through, it's just I'm just killing myself at that point. I did not heal. That's very bad. The only way I survive here is if... Oh, this is kind of terrifying. As long as he can't form another column, I'm fine. Okay, now as long as he doesn't get a trigger, I'm fine. Oh, now I need a heal. I lose. Oh, he got a double trigger. Alright, I need a heal. I need the fattest of heals. I have 2 in my deck. The 2 cards I checked were not it, so that means... I think I got a draw trigger for one of them. I have like maybe like a 2 in 9 chance. Something like that. Come on, Chariot. I need you. Chariot! No! One intercept would have done it there. Sad. That's unfortunate. Let's try one more time. Let's see if we can get this to 50-50. Oh, is this... Hopefully this isn't a farmer. Come on, play OTT. I wouldn't mind it. Okay, I'll send you back. Actually, I'll send both of you back. Waffle. Is that Waffle? No, that's not Waffle. It's what's her name? Eclair. Go bike. We have an okay, and we're gonna have a potential Edo Rose if we need it. So as you guys can see, this deck does work. It just sometimes struggles a little bit, especially if you don't draw into your intercepts. Ooh, a self-damager, thank you. Stand triggers. What is this deck? This deck reminds me of Good Stuff OTT. And we have 2 self-damagers. Sweet. So at 3 damage we can end okay. You just have to get him to at a range where we feel comfortable enough and okay. We don't have to worry about any kind of limit break here. And we drew Gwyn the Ripper, which is perfect. We also hit a PG. And he lost another stand trigger. So things are going pretty well so far. Now all we need him to do... There's no rush right here. We're not in any kind of rush. However, if we draw another self-damager, you bet your bottom that I'm going to be calling to try to push. Especially considering I have a Gwyn the Ripper in hand. The only downside is to NOK, kind of, is that anytime he puts cards into the damage zone, they're always going to be face down. So you won't have a lot of counterblast to work with if you're doing an okay late game. If you're doing it early game, self-damagers will return those face downs to the deck. Okay, it is not something he wants, so probably not a trigger. He has to play to the stand. Good. Does not get it. It's like a Battle Sisters plus CEO deck with featuring Dark Cat. It's weird. We do another PG. That kind of doesn't matter if we get Tommed. But if we don't get Tommed, then we're set. Defunka. I'm gonna call you. And that's it, right? I could call my other NLK to try to push him. I'm actually gonna do that, since this isn't a limit break deck. Well, I mean, it could be a limit break deck if it's Fromage. I'm still pushing though. If I whiff a heal here, then okay, we confirm the Fromage, also confirm another stand. No triggers. So I'm actually okay with pushing there. We can end okay next turn for sure. Because we have 2 self-damagers and there's no way he doesn't put us to Sakuya. That is probably the heal trigger. Yep, souffle. Bottom of the deck it goes. So he's gonna take out a rear and then push me for 2 potential damage. The Chariot's probably the best option. Oh no, he's going for the stand play. Did not get it. That's actually perfect for me then. I don't mind being left at 3 because that means both of my self-damagers can actually do it, put in the work here. Okay, I have 1 bike in my deck. I'm gonna try to use all of my counter blasts in preparation for NOK. I'm actually gonna take you out. I wonder if he's confused about what I'm doing. And now we NOK for potential game. Not guaranteed game, just potential game. We put in the last bike for the crit. So any bikes after that, like that one. We whiff the heal, but that's fine. He has the PG. And now we put in... Okay, we lost a heal. But 2 cards are going back, which is self-damager in the grade 2. So we ultimately end up losing a heal and a draw. But we're sitting pretty decently. If we can draw another self-damager, which I think we still have some. Yeah, we still have 4 self-damagers in our deck. We can NOK again next turn. I actually totally forgot he returned that as well. He's searching for a grade 3. Found Amaterasu. Interesting. I would love to draw a bike here. I still have 2 bikes in our deck. Unfortunately, we hit one with the NOK effect, but it should be fine if we can draw into the other one. There's a self-damager. We know one of the cards in his hand is a CEO. So only one of them could potentially be a PG. We could actually just push for game here. It's gonna really depend on our luck. If we can draw a grade 2 self-damager, we're set. Kind of set. Because it doesn't necessarily hit for numbers. No, instead we draw Dorian. It's actually fine as well. Okay, let me think about this. I'm leaning towards Werewolf being his own column. And then normally I'd put Doreen behind Vanguard. And I'm thinking of not doing that. And instead promoting her in case I get a trigger. I'm actually gonna... No, I have to place Doreen for next turn. I'll place her here. We were one card off from the Grade 2 Self-Damager. Damn it. If it doesn't get a trigger her, we can push for game. Okay, we can push for game. Let's see. Only one of those can be a PG. Okay. So now we know he doesn't have any PGs in hand. That is a CEO Amaterasu in his hand right now. He cannot reach 6 soul with CEO here. We have 2 PGs. As long as he did not draw into Tom, we're good. He just lost a heal trigger. And he placed that card at the bottom, so it's probably it's not a trigger. He does not know what's at the top of his deck. We are fine as long as that is not a Tom and he does not get a trigger. Oh, you need 2 triggers actually. Okay, and that is what? Non-trigger again. Okay, this should be game then. 16, yeah. Because we can just PG his attack and then just kill him next turn. So we're gonna go 2 for 2, or 2 for 4 with this deck. Could be worse. As long as we beat... Does this guy have... Interesting decision. Now we don't even need to use our PGs. We whiff the heal, which means we're now out. Oh. Oh. I feel kind of bad. That's gonna get stronger because of the bike in our that we're about to suck up. So even if he somehow... Can he even heal out of this? I can't tell. He could technically heal out of this. He would become 30. Oh, actually, yeah. The fact that I didn't get a trigger. Let's go. Perfect. Alright. Let's go over the deck one more time. That was very good. I like using this deck. I think I found the version of the deck, at least for now, that I enjoy. Once again, this deck focuses on NOK as much as you can every single turn until they die. You run the bike and you run Chariot to make sure you don't deck out while you're using NOK. You have 1 Reiji in case the game becomes super late game and you need to ride it, because by that point you will most likely have at least 15 cards in your soul from however many times you had to use No Life King. 6 self-damagers to get to No Life King's 5 damage requirement easier. 2 Zoreens to make a little bit more bigger columns, potentially behind Vanguard, because 1 Doreen behind Vanguard every turn guarantees at least 21k with that single column, so you're always hitting over defensives unless you're playing against MOB or Crossroads. 3 Gwyn the Rippers to help deal with intercepts or any pesky rear guards that maybe you have to deal with for a potential final game push with Bike crit or an NOK crit. Obviously, the 4 Werewolves are there for Edo Rose. Edo Rose is the recyclable draw trigger. And 3 Free Travelers to facilitate setting up Bike early game. And obviously the starter is there to also set up Bike. For now, I'm super happy with this deck. It's done really well. Went 2-2 with it today, if I'm not mistaken. But considering I went from Legend 11 with 0 points all the way to wherever I am right now, Legend 12, halfway through Legend 12. Say it's pretty good deck to use. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. I will see all you beautiful people again next time. Jenny.